Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird. It's Michelle Birdsong in New York City. This is part 2 of the Eve Tells the Story of the Bilderberg Group. I just want to say that I spoke to Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh, and I asked him to restore the spiritual and religious gene to the DNA of the human race. The Pentagon, the military industrial complex had removed it. That's why there were so many atheists and agnostics and so few people interested in Jesus Christ and really practicing people. I'm not talking about just words alone, but I'm saying in their heart, who in their heart loved Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's begin. CBS and other media giants control everything we see, hear, and read through television, radio, newspaper, magazines, books, films, and large portions of the internet. Their top officials and some journalists attend Bilderberg meetings on condition they report nothing. The Rockefeller family wields enormous power, even though its reigning patriarch, David, will be 94 on June 12th. He's a Gemini, and surely near the end of his dominance. However, for years, the Rockefellers, led by David, gained great influence over the media. With it, the family gained sway over public opinion. With the pulse of public opinion, they gained deep influence in politics, and with this politics of subtle corruption, they are taking control of the nation and now aim for total. The Bilderberg Rockefeller scheme is to make their views so appealing by camouflaging that they become public policy and can pressure world leaders into submitting to the needs of the masters of the universe. Camouflaging. CMA flag aging. Flag aging. CMA. The respect of the flag is aging. It's the gagging, you see there. People are not respecting our flag. Even people, American citizens, are not respecting our flag as they should. So we'll have to work on that. The free world press is their instrument to disseminate agreed upon propaganda. Owen Benjamin shows all the late night comics and the media saying the same things. So this is exactly what they said they have the press do, and he showed the press doing it. They're all repeating the same lie, CFI cabinet control. The National Security Act of 1947 established the Office of Secretary of Defense. Since then, 14 Department of Defense secretaries have been CFR members. Since 1940, every Secretary of State except James Burns has been a Council on Foreign Relations member and/or Trilateral Commission 1. For the past 80 years, virtually every key UN national security and foreign policy advisor has been a CFR member. You see there, they control the world. Their little clique controls the world. Nearly all top generals, and secretly, we don't know this. They don't say, yeah, I have a key position in the UN and I'm a member of the CFR. It's a secret. It was a secret. We're exposing their secrets. Thanks to the author, what was his name? Daniel Esterlin. He wrote this book, The True Story of the Bilderberg Group. Nearly all top generals and admirals have been CFR members. Many presidential candidates were and are CFR members, including Herbert Hoover, Adlai Stevenson, Dwight Eisenhower. Now, Dwight Eisenhower was a projection of Gurinder Singh, and Dwight Eisenhower is the one who warned us about the military-industrial complex. Okay, so let's say he was on our side. And then John Kennedy was a member of the CFR, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, also a chartered TC member, Trilateral Commission member. George H.W. Bush was a member, Bill Clinton, John Kerry, and John McCain. We know John McCain and Kerry, those traitors were. Numerous CIA directors were and are CFR members, including Richard Helms, James Schlesinger, William Casey, William Webster, Robert Gates, James Woolsey, John Deutsche, George Tenet, Porter Gross, Michael Hayden, and Leon Panetta. Leon Panetta is the one that said we had to get permission from the UN. They could invade Libya, start a war with Libya, because they had permission from the UN, I believe he said that. And we were thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? What's the UN got to do with America fighting a war? See, because they had this plan, and the plan was written. We just didn't know where to find the plan and read about it. Many Treasury secretaries were and are CFR members, including Douglas Dillon, George Shultz, William Simon, James Baker, Nicholas Brady, Lord Benson, Robert Rubin, Henry Paulson, and Tim Geithner. We wondered how tax cheat Tim Geithner got to be the Secretary of the Treasury. I think that's what he was. And Henry Paulson is the one that made so much money off of the 2008 monetary meltdown that he told Bush and that he had to bail out the banks or the economy was going to collapse. And Bush apparently fell for it. Or else he was in cahoots with Paulson. I'm not sure which. I used to like Bush. I'm not sure now. So whether presidents nominate Supreme Court when presidents nominate Supreme Court candidates, the CFR's special group, secret team, or advisor vet them for acceptability. Presidents, in fact, are told who to appoint, including designees to the High Court and most lower ones. Programming the public mind. According to sociologist Hadley Cantrell in his 1967 book, The Human Dimension, Experiences in Policy Research, government psycho-political operations are props. Propaganda. I said Ganda. Let's read that. Political experience, government psycho-political operations are propaganda campaigns designed to create perpetual tension and to manipulate different groups of people to accept the particular climate of opinion the CFR seeks to achieve in the world. For example, gay marriage is good. Political correctness is good. Racism is everywhere. You see, they make up this shit and then have the media talk about it so much that people, the hypnotized people who watch stupid TV, believe them. And that's what the public opinion is. Canadian writer Ken Adachi, 1929 and 1989, added, what most Americans believe to be public opinion is in reality carefully crafted and scripted propaganda designed to elicit a desired behavioral response from the public. You see, some people knew this was going on. He just said it. A noted Australian academic and activist, Alex Carey, born 1929, died 1988, explained the three most important 20th century developments: the growth of democracy, the growth of corporate power, and the growth of corporate propaganda, bunch of lies, as a means of protecting corporate power against democracy. Do you see that? Wow. The web of control. Numerous think tanks, foundations, the major media, and other key organizations are staffed with CFR members. Most of its life, members also belong to the Trilateral Commission, and Bilderberg Group operates secretly and wield enormous power over us and world affairs. The Rockefeller-founded Trilateral Commission. On page 405 of his memoirs, David Rockefeller wrote, "Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure, one world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it." Now, you see that? Is that astounding? David Rockefeller admitted in writing exactly what he's doing, what they're doing to us. And he's proud of it. And in red I wrote, "That's why when you become rightly informed and start thinking for yourself, you realize most everything you've been taught is a lie." That's absolutely right. It's all illusion. There's a website, I think it's a website that says everything is some rich man's idea. And that stuck with me because I knew it was true. A long time ago I said to myself, everything is somebody's idea. It's not just haphazard. And it's true. Okay, let's continue. Note, a secret plan to rule the world and to continue benefiting them, the bankers and other crooks, i.e. politicians. Andrew Gillum, candidate for governor of Florida's college roommate, told Project Veritas undercover, he didn't know he was being filmed, an elderly black lady, that old fairy tales used to be once upon a time. The new fairy tale begins if I'm elected. You see that? Now these people know these things and they don't tell us. Somebody said, it might have been Alex Jones, somebody said the other day, there's so many witnesses. There's so many witnesses. Why don't they speak up? Maybe they'll start to speak up. Gurinder Singh, could you help them start to speak up? Thank you. In alliance with Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commission also plays a vital role in the New World Order scheme to use wealth concentrated in the hands of the few to exert world control. Trilateral Commission members share common views and all relate to total, unchallengeable global dominance. In red pen I wrote, hence, they're trying to end free speech and the United States Constitution. See, Gurinder Singh, could you make sure they don't do that? They don't end free speech and they don't end our Constitution? Thank you. Founded in Gurinder Singh is Jesus Christ. He is the Buddha. He is Santa Claus. He is St. Valentine. And more importantly, he's the son of the sun. So he has unlimited power on the earth, just like the sun has unlimited power. He got it from his dad. And really so does his sister, the daughter of the sun, Eve, me. But I like to work through Gurinder Singh because he's the architect of the heaven on earth. I started saying New World Order, of the heaven on earth, So founded in 1973, and headquartered in Washington, its powerful U.S., EU, and East Asian members seek its operative founding goal, a new international economic order, now simply a new world order, run by global elites from these three parts of the world, with lesser members admitted from other countries. Alex Jones, who was Paul Revere, who was Eve's husband, has been warning and educating America for 20 years about the globalist plan to take total control of the world and kill off most of the population. That's why, as opposed to the Holy Royal Family, see, I have here in red, that's why Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh Ji, said fairly recently, it's time to take life seriously, because these people are planning to enslave us and kill off the ones they can't control, like they did with Seth Rich, Andrew Breitbart, Anthony Scalia, the Supreme Court justice who was conservative, and so many others. There are whole lists of the people who've been killed, because they were nonconformists. They were telling the truth. They had consciences, and they were living with their consciences. Like JFK said, he was going to unravel the CIA. Next thing you know, his brain's being blown out. But he has been reborn as Kyle, can I say his name? Kashnov? Some name like that. One of the Parkland High School students who is the opposite of Hogg, David Hogg. All right, so let's continue. So they want to kill off the population and slay the people, the Bilderbergers do, as opposed to the Holy Royal Family, who inherit the rulership of the world from their father, the highest authority, the Son, who will shed light on how to love yourself and become happy with yourself and others and nature. According to the Trilateral Commission's website, each regional group has a chairman and deputy chairman who altogether constitute the leadership of the committee. The executive committee draws together a further 36 individuals from the wider membership, proportionately representing the U.S., EU, and East Asia in its early years, now enlarged to be broadly global. Committee members meet several times annually to discuss and coordinate their work. The executive committee chooses members, and at any time, around 350 belong for a 3-year renewable period. Everyone is a consummate insider with expertise in business, finance, the military, or the media, including past presidents, secretaries of state, international bankers, think tank and foundation executives, university presidents, and selected academics and former senators and congressmen, among others. Although its annual reports are available for purchase, its inner workings, current goals, and operations are secret with good reason. Its objectives harm the public, so mustn't be revealed. Trilaterals over Washington author Anthony Sutton wrote. Did you hear that? Let me read this again. So its operations and goals are secret. I'm talking about the Trilateral Commission with good reason, because its objectives harm, H-A-R-M, the public, so mustn't be revealed. Trilaterals over Washington. And the author of that book is Anthony Sutton. He wrote, "This group of private citizens is precisely organized in a manner that ensures its collective views have significant impact on public policy." In her book, Trilateralism, the Trilateral Commission and Elite Planning for World Management, Holly Sklar wrote, that's Sklar. She says, "Powerful figures in America, Europe, and East Asia let the rich safeguard their interests. Western capitalism in an explosive world, probably by discouraging protectionism, nationalism." See, they're discouraging nationalism. So when Trump said he was a nationalist, that all the media jumped on it and implied that that's a bad thing to be. See? Or any response that would pit the elites of one against the elites of another in their common quest for global dominance. Let me read that again. Powerful figures in America, Europe, and East Asia let the rich safeguard the interests of Western capitalism in an explosive world, probably by discouraging protectionism, nationalism, or any response that would pit the elites of one against the elites of another in their common quest for global dominance. Trump says America first. So he's pitting us against everybody else, as opposed to us merging with everybody else and letting everybody else's values dictate what we're about. You know, which what it's about is that Bilderbergers and the CFR and the Trilateral Commission, they want to control us. They want to take our money and make us slaves, and the ones who don't want to be slaves, kill them. And that's the truth. Trilateralist Zbigniew Brzezinski, Trilateral's co-founder, wrote in his Between Two Ages, America's role in technotronics era. Note his daughter, Mika Brzezinski, is Morning Joe's Scarborough's fiance. Joe Scarborough, whose intern was found dead in his office when he was a Republican congressman. He's now a host on MSNBC, a Democrat who plays guitar in a band. They never found out who murdered Scarborough's intern. They say she died from a heart attack. Sure. Many people don't believe it. They say Joe Scarborough was having an affair with Lori Klinsutis. They wonder if she was pregnant and who all were involved with the cover-up of her death. Maybe he was rewarded with the TV show because he's now blackmailable and they can get him to do what they want him to do. Like the day he and Mika faked, it was Wednesday and they pretended it was Friday after Thanksgiving. And she said, "Oh, I'm so stuffed," and he said, "Oh yeah, Thanksgiving was great." And they put on this whole act that Mark Dice did a video about exposing them and their lies. The Washington Post busted them first. So check that out if you want to see what liars they are. In turn, Chandra Levy was romantically linked with Democratic Congressman Gary Condit. He was ultimately ruled out as a suspect for her murder. Ingmar Guadagno was convicted of Levy's murder in 2010, but it was overturned. So who did kill Chandra Levy? Illegal alien MS-13 member Conduit was not candid and forthcoming with investigators about his relationship with Levy, bringing him considerable negative attention and speculation that he was somehow involved in her murder. Yeah, that was very convenient to come up with him for a suspect, sure. Trilateralist Brzezinski, the Trilateral Commission's co-founder, wrote in his between two ages, America's role in the technotronic era. People, governments, and economies of all nations must serve the needs of multinational banks and corporations. The Constitution is inadequate. See, this guy's from Poland. He's not even an American. The old framework of international politics with their sphere of influence, the fiction of sovereignty. Sovereignty shouldn't be a fiction. It should be real. It's clearly no longer compatible with reality. This is what Brzezinski's saying. What nerve he's got to say this to us. The Trilateral Commission today is now global with members from countries as diverse as Argentina, Ukraine, Israel, Jordan, Brazil, Turkey, China, and Russia. I hear Brazil just elected a man who does believe in the sovereignty of Brazil. A lot of people around the world are being inspired by our president, Donald Trump, who was a saint, Gurinder Singh Ji, his stand on nationalism and not globalism. So in his book, Trilateral Over America, Anthony Sutton believes that the Trilateral Commission's aim is to collaborate with Bilderbergers and CFR in establishing public policy objectives to be implemented by governments worldwide. He added that trilateralists have rejected the U.S. Constitution and the democratic political process. Well, we were a republic, a constitutional republic. We were not a democracy. In fact, the Trilateral Commission was established to counter a crisis in democracy. Too much of it that had to be contained. Note, we're a constitutional republic, not a democracy, right? What saved this republic from Hillary Clinton's being elected president, this is me, I'm talking now, was the daughter of the Almighty, the wife of Jesus Christ, Mary, creating a book cover that read, Divine Intervention Needed. She put a picture of the 20th century form of Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh Ji, who had placed himself in the form. Mary witnessed this by remote control of Gurinder Singh Ji, the Buddha, who then became Jesus Christ, 21st century. Divine intervention happened, and Donald Trump was sent to save America. Jesus Christ subsequently married Mary, April 2018, in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and impregnated her by entering the windows of her soul in his spiritual being. He then sent her to commune with the Son, her father, and his father, when she returned to New York City, Chelsea, near where she lived in an SRO, a single-room occupancy hotel known as the St. Francis of Assisi's volume Residence 3. Her daughter, this life, Robin Birdsong, is St. Francis of Assisi. Mary Eve D. Michelle Birdsong stood on the corner of 17th Street and 8th Avenue in Manhattan and stared into the eye of the sun, fascinated, in love. She saw his supreme beam. She'd seen it before. He impregnated her with his supreme beam before, as had Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ. He had her have vaginal sex with a Latino who had done her a kindness. She had been celibate for years. She told guy after guy who hit on her that she only had sex with her husband. Her husband this life and she were separated. He walked out on her when the children were all gone from the nest. He lived in San Francisco. She noticed when her Latin lover inserted his penis. It was remarkably long. She felt excoriating pain, and blood went everywhere. Sex with him was pain-filled, every minute of it. After he left, she saw the enormous amount of blood on the sheets. They were blood-soaked. In talking with Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh, he's in her head. He's available to speak to her whenever she needs to discuss something 24/7. She told him that she would not be tempted to cheat on her husband, her new husband that is, as sex without love was painful, boring, uninteresting, a negative experience. He confirmed that the pain and massive amount of blood loss was a miscarriage. She hadn't wholeheartedly believed herself pregnant by him, Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh, and by her father the Son, because she'd never heard of such in her life, nor on television, nor could she imagine it. She was very sad to hear that she had lost twins. 20th century Jesus Christ, Gurinder Singh, now named Giancarlo Arturo and Evelyn Jones, R.N., new name, was to be Aria Elizabeth, two of the most beautiful, most romantic, most classy names in the world. Okay, I'm going to stop for now before this thing cuts me off, and I will have to do part 3. Okay, so this is Mild Red Songbird in New York City, and I will talk to you again in about 45 minutes. Bye.